Hello everyone, how's your day? Are you feeling good or what? Before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Alisa Joy de Bose, and my topic is all about types of verbs. Since we were in our elementary, verbs are being introduced already by our teachers. Verbs is king in English. The shortest sentence contains a verb. You can make one word sentence with a verb. For example, stop. You cannot make a one-word sentence with any other type of word. Verbs are what we call as those words that express action or state of being or do not give the idea of action. Instead, they give the idea of existence and of state of being. Verb is composed of three types. We have the action verb, the linking verb, and the helping verb. So let's start with the action verb. Action verb are words that express action like give, eat, walk, etc., or possession, meaning there is a condition of having or owning, like have, own, etc. Action verbs can be either transitive or intransitive. When we say transitive, it is a verb that always has a noun that receives the action of the verb called the direct object, meaning intransitive verb there is a noun that is responsible in receiving the action. Refer to the given example. Azila raises her hand. The verb is raises, and her hand is a direct object, receiving the verb's action. Therefore, raises is a transitive verb. Transitive verbs sometimes have indirect objects. Note that indirect objects are those which name the object to whom or for whom the object was done. Let's try to look in the given example. Joseph gave Joy the pencil. The verb in the sentence is gave. Try to ask yourself, what did he give? Alright, the pencil. Since it is the pencil who received the action, automatically that is considered as a direct object. Now to whom did he give it? To Joy. Therefore Joy is an indirect object because it was as what I've said, indirect objects are those which name the object to whom or for whom the object was done. Do I make myself clear? Let's proceed to the intransitive verbs. These are verbs that never has a direct or indirect object. Although an intransitive verb may be followed by an adverbial phrase meaning there is a verb, an adjective, or another adverb may be modified, there is no object to receive its action. From the given example, Jason rises slowly from her seat. As you can see, the verb is rises. The phrase slowly from her seat is an adverbial phrase that modifies the verb, but still there is no object that receives the action. For you to determine whether it is transitive or intransitive, there is an easier way to find out if it is an action verb or not. Just follow these two steps. First is find the verb in the sentence. Refer in the first and second example. Jay will lay down his book. Now what is the action happened? In the sentence, alright, will lay. What about in the second example? His book will lie there all day. Will lie is a verb in the sentence. The second step is to determine the receiving action of the verb. If there is a noun receiving the action of the verb, then the verb is transitive. If there is no direct object to receive the action, and if the verb does not make sense with a direct object, then it is intransitive. In example number 1, Jay will lay down his book. Alright, Jay will lay down what? His book. Since the verb can take a direct object, it is intransitive. In example number 2, his book will lie there all day. Now, his book will lie what? Nothing, right? It does not make sense to lie something, since the verb has no direct object or there's no noun receiving the action of the verb. It is intransitive. Now, another type of linking verb is what we call as the linking verbs. It is, alright, wait. Linking verbs are verbs that connects the subject of a sentence to a noun or adjective that renames or describes the subject. This noun or adjective is called the subject complement. Basically, If a verb requires a subject complement to complete the sentence, the verb is a linking verb. For example, Eliza is in love with Jason. The verb is links the subject complement in love with Jason describing Eliza. Well, we have the most common linking verb to be in all of its forms. Is, are, was, were, and etc. This verb may also be used as a helping verb depending on how it is used in the sentence. Note that to become and to seem are always linking verbs. There are also verbs that function as linking verbs in some cases and helping verbs in others. Alright, we have to appear, to feel, to look, to remain, to stay, to taste, to continue, to grow, to prove, to sound, to smell, and to turn. Let's try in this given example and see its differences. Jane appeared happy and Dion suddenly appeared. As you have noticed, both have the same verb which is appeared. Now, what makes it distinct from each other? Well, in the first example, appeared links Jane to the subject complement happy, while on the other hand, appeared is used as an intransitive action verb because the verb has no direct object that will receive the action of the verb. Now, let's proceed to the last type of action verb, or last type is the helping verb. Helping verb are those verbs that are used before action or linking verbs to convey additional information regarding aspects of possibility like can, could, etc. or time like was, did, has, or etc. The main verb with its accompanying helping verb is called a verb phrase, meaning it is the complete predicate of the sentence. Alright, let's take a look at this example. Jay is going to Florida. Now, try to identify the helping verb in the sentence. Is a helping verb because it is followed by the action word going, or what we call is the main verb in the sentence. Same with in the second example, the trip might be dangerous. The helping verb in the sentence is might, which express possibility followed by a main verb be. Alright, the following words called modals always functions as helping verbs. We have can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. In the example, Tanya could learn to fly helicopters and Janine will drive to Idaho tomorrow. Could helps the main verb learn, while will helps the main verb drive. In addition, the following verbs forms to be like am, is, are, was, were, be, been, and being, to do like did, do, and does, and to have like had, has, and have, sometimes serve as helping verbs. Note that in other cases they may serve as an action or linking verb. Let's try in this given example. Jana is moving to a new house, and Jana is ready to go. They both have the verb is, but functions in different way. Is in the first sentence helps the main verb moving, making it a helping verb, while the second one is functions as a linking verb where it connects to its subject complement. Ready to go. To sum it up, imagine that some stranger walks into your room and says, I teach, people eat, the earth rotates, I can, people must, the earth will, I become. Do you understand something on the first three given? Has this person communicated to you? Probably yes, not a lot, but something. That's because these verbs are main verbs, or what we call as action verbs, and have meaning on their own. Again, action verbs are those that have meaning on their own. They tell us something. Now what about on the second set? Do you understand something? Probably not. Because these verbs are helping verbs or linking verbs and have no meaning on their own. I repeat, they have no meaning on their own. They are necessary for the grammatical structure of the sentence. The sentences in the above example are therefore incomplete and they need at least a main verb or a subject complement to complete. So, that is all about the types of verb. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you acquired something valuable today that you might be able to share it to others. So, good day and God bless.